Welcome to this month's RC Racing, once again from sunny well actually no. While Las Vegas has had these sort of things, we've run out of promos for the series before we've run out of Las Vegas action, and we're actually in the middle of England in absolutely freezing temperatures filming for the Neo 08, which begins next month. But this month, I guarantee you, virtually the best race you'll ever see, including 2 world champions. We also do have that Las Vegas action. We have news, views and interviews all this month on RC Racing. Welcome to the hub of RC Racing. This is where the magic is made and we put the program together. But we all live for the weekend, us RC racers, but what do you do during the week if you want your fix of radio control? You can't just stroll up and organise a large meeting. Well, now you can, but virtually, thanks to VRC, Virtual RC Racing. But how close is the real thing, and does it really help? We decided to put together a little tournament featuring people you've seen on the show in the past and a couple of new faces to find out who is the best virtual racer of all.
It's hardcore, mate.
Whoa!
I got held up by back markers.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah.
What's all that about?
Yeah.
Beep.
Sorry.
Beep, 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 beep.
Track conditions weren't right.
Gonna give me like 30 minutes in this thing.
Beep, 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 beep.
Oh!
Oh!
Yeah, that's it. You're not pressing.
Before we start, let's look at the game itself. Now, VRC sets itself apart from other simulations of racing games by actually being a simulation of radio control, down to the fact that you can actually use a proper RC set. This is one that comes provided in the bundle. It's a very nice 2-stick. There's also a stereo version, but also you can have a special dongle which allows you to use your very own radio. Now, luckily, this is a very own radio of a certain Mr. Andy Moore. You may have heard him. It's the closest I'll get to touching the champion's equipment, I can tell you. Anyway, let's look at what we're going to do. We've gone for the Pista Jody Scheckter. We're going for a standard IC car, a touring car, and it's the best single lap over 5 laps of a run. So let's see who is the best virtual racer. Okay, I've chosen to use a real transmitter, Andy Moore's, hurrah. So all I have to do is turn it on, and it automatically syncs up with the program. Just press start practice. Okay, I'll go straight in. It's already calibrated. Off we go. See the track, you have a look at the graphics, and there's my chance to do 5 laps instead of time for these amateurs to try and keep up with. So here's your first view of the Pista Jody Scheckter. Long main straight there, followed by a couple of very tight hairpin turns, a bit tight there. The modelling of these cars is very accurate. You really do have to use brakes, good grip, and these are of course 1/10 IC touring cars. A class we've not seen much within RC racing, but very popular, especially on the continent. These cars are modelled with foam tyres rather than rubber. Have in real life a 0.12 engine. They have about 1.5 horsepower, but as you can see, quite difficult to keep the car on the track. Well, quite difficult for me to keep the car on the track and taking every ounce of my concentration. Right, now let's go and see what my best lap was. Let's see the fastest I could go around the Pista Jody Scheckter. Hitting the straight there, so you can see the top speed blown just about 90 kilometers an hour in second gear. Unfortunately, missed my braking point there for the hairpin at the end of the sweeper. But at this point here, it began to get slightly better. Not exactly hitting every apex, but actually hitting the road, which obviously helps slightly. Quite pleased with this actually. It was one of the best of the 5 laps I had. Nice and smooth, nice and clear, and crossing the line in 21.6 seconds. Beat that, world champions. First up is top British driver Ben Cosgrove. Now, Ben is one of the early favourites here, as he actually does drive IC touring cars. But let's see who he thinks his main rivals are.
I think Mark Reinhardt, I think he'll take the title on this one.
Could get quite competitive.
It could do. I don't think Andy will be that good. He's good at touring car, but this is nitro. But it's completely different on a computer game. It's fairly realistic, but the game is quite a bit different. So I think Mark will be in for a good shout on that.
Let's see Ben out on the track. Now, as we said before, this should be nothing but plain sailing for a great drive. Oh dear. Well, that's a bit of an early mistake. Well, luckily you see the damage, very easy to repair, unlike the real thing. You just press the control reset button and your car is repaired for no money at all. Let's look at Ben's best lap. As you have a couple of laps, he's got a beautiful sweeping in the top corner there, a little bit wide. Track's quite complicated. You need to be able to brake and turn and move and various things that I wasn't quite able to do. But Ben really has got a superb rhythm going here. Looks very quick. Again, hitting each apex, a little bit wide there, but again, a nice sweeping through, and that should be a good time of 19.6. Well, that's slightly faster than me. Well done, Ben. Obviously, very pleased done so well. Next up is James Stewart. James, known as Part Number. For some reason, he has a hobby of knowing all the part numbers of HPI products. And a superb off-track incident there. James obviously going to try and tie me for towards the end of the leaderboard. Let's see what he gets. He gets a 22.3. Well, that's quite lucky. John Bowden next. Johnny also actually an A finalist, who you may have seen him racing in the Cotswold events we had. Again, just half lap here. He's not really cooked up on this particular part of the track, and I don't think I've got anything to worry about, have I? And he's done a... Oh, he's faster than me as well. Well, stay tuned to see if I stay last as we return to our virtual championship later in the show. And now on RC Racing, look at the latest in the Savage lineup, the huge Savage XL. And now our final trip to sunny Las Vegas, where we take a look at the modified rubber final with your race commentator, John Hindhoff.
Well, there's plenty of variety as far as the manufacturers are concerned, with 4 different makes represented in the first 3 rows of this grid. Paul Lemure is on pole position with X-Ray. Atsuchihara has the best of the hot bodies in second place. Reinhard in third is on Tamiya. Barry Baker, that versatile American all-rounder, has an X-Ray in fourth. Billy Easton makes it another American on the inside of row 3 on the Corrali, and Andy Moore has the second hot body in the top 6 in 6th position. Juho Levonen is in 7th, Timo Lino in 8th, Alex Hapberg from Sweden in 9th, and the American Mike Blackstock in 10th position. Rubber tyres on the carpet should favour the Europeans, but Lemure gets a good start. Reinhardt's gone wide! Oh, there's an incident there! Was that Andy Moore caught up in that? And it looks like Eason's come through into 3rd position. He's the big winner there. Across the line they go for the first lap, and Eason has a look down the inside and goes to 2nd. Takes Atsuchihara right out of the play there. Let's have a look back and see what happened. Watch the 3rd car. It's Reinhardt. He's already gone out of our picture. Comes in, tries to get it back, and he does hold up Andy Moore, and there's all kinds of carnage behind. 1 lap later, the man in 3rd place is Eason. He comes from a long way back on the Japanese driver and makes what we can only call a robust pass into 2nd place. And he's now hard on the heels of Paul Lemure, who leads this one. And the front 4 just making a little bit of a breakaway. as Lemieux comes under pressure now. Oh, there's a problem there. Eason's rolled. Eason has rolled out of second position after all that hard work. And look at the gap that has left the leader, Paul Lemieux, with. Now, Paul now just has to really, even at this early stage of the race, pace himself because there's no one else in sight. That's a huge gap now. Back to the battle for second place. And in second, it is Mark Reinhardt, who's recovered from that mistake early on, and he'll be thanking his lucky stars. He's back up in his second. He's having to watch behind himself there because there is Hara still pressuring, still just lurking in the background. Atsushi Hara. This little mistake there by Reinhardt, so he is feeling the pressure. Coming down to Casino Corner now, and now back on the mid straight. He's gone off and he's spun out of second place, drops down into third. Let's have another look at this. Just gets the car a little bit squirrely and can't keep it off the wall. And that's Andy Moore now that's up into fourth position, fighting from that early problem. Well, it was him and Reinhardt that got together, wasn't it, on that first corner? So they're now down in third and fourth position, having recovered in their own way. But that's put Atsushi Hara up into second. Paul Lemieux still out in front. There's Hara, and there's the battle for third between Reinhardt and Moore, who come together again in turn one. Well, goodness me. That has proved a real problem corner here at Las Vegas. As the field is now beginning to come back together again, but it's because the leaders are coming through traffic. I haven't seen Paul Lemieux for a little while. There he is with the blue front to the car, and again a little mistake in that Casino turn section by one of the midfield cars. But Lemieux now has got to keep his concentration. There he is, just coming down the start-finish straight into this problem area of turn one, and he's lost time. He's certainly lost time in traffic because Atsushi Hara is gained. Look at that, much closer now, and surely Lemieux must be feeling the pressure now. And as Hara has come through, he's dragged Reinhardt and Andy Moore with him. The first four within striking distance of each other now, and any small mistake will be absolutely desperate at this stage for the top four runners. See if we can pick up the leader again on the far side of the circuit, and there's someone else over right in front of Lemieux. Surely that must have caught his eye, must have just rocked his concentration for a moment as he was lapping traffic. And yes, look at this. Hara now gets by the traffic much more decisively. And all kinds of carnage out there on the circuit. The marshals all over the place. So difficult just to keep your line of sight and your concentration. Mike Blackstock going through there in the bright orange car. Always an easy one to pick out. And there's the first four really, almost together. Paul Lemieux hasn't had the best of traffic, has he? And he must be feeling the heat being turned up as Atsushi Hara with the hot bodies is now, oh, look at that. Well, we've got a battle here. This is a proper battle now. Reinhardt still in third, Moore still in fourth. There they are, but this is the battle for the lead. And the Japanese driver is looking really racy at the moment, putting the pressure on. And just look at how carefully the leader is picking out his racing lines down into turn one. Whoa, this is very close indeed. And to me, I think that Hara's car is just a little bit better through that tight and twisty infield technical section, but he can't make it pay because there's only really one racing line there. Blackstock moves over. Now let's see what the Japanese driver can do here. He has a lunge and he puts the leader on his roof. Blackstock on his roof. Reinhardt's gone through into the lead. So much action there. Let's have another look. Well, Hara comes from a long way back, puts the leader on his roof, but pauses there because he knows he's made a mistake. Blackstock is turned over as well, I think by Reinhardt, as Reinhardt comes through. Yes, and Reinhardt gets through. There he goes into the lead. And now it is Reinhardt with the Tamiya who leads from in second Lemieux, and down into third has gone Atsushi Hara. So Hara caused that, but rather sportingly lifted off and let the other cars through. He knew he'd made a mistake, I think. Didn't want to stop-go penalty and finds himself back in third position. Has to do it all again, but what we now have is a great three-way battle for the lead. Mark Reinhardt has got that first position, and as he comes on to the start-finish line, there's some damage to the left-hand side of the bodywork. It looks like there's been a chunk taken out, or the bodywork's been moved across or lifted from the chassis. It's not slowing him down too much at the moment, so he comes across the line and wins it despite that damage. Well, Mark Reinhardt, I think, can count himself lucky to have won that one. But win it he has from from the third place on the grid to take it from Paul Lemieux in second, Atsushi Hara in third, Juha Levonen coming up from the fourth row of the grid to fourth position, Alexander Hapberg, the Swede, all the way from 9th to 5th, Barry Baker, Temo Leno, Mike Blackstock, Billy Eason, who ran so well early on, as high as second, Andy Moore, I'm afraid, not getting the full trip, ending up in 10th position. Nick Damon has the winner in Parc Fermé.
Mark Reinhardt, a great win here for the Americans' backyard.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. It was a tough race, and I was a little bit lucky in the main, but that's right, the car was good. I just drove a little bit no good, so but it finished good for me.
This is Paul and Atsushi came together and you managed to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I was all the time in the third. I passed Atsushi in the beginning and then crashed again, so I was in the third. So I thought maybe they can, when they try to battle, I can come up and try to overtake, but that is it like this, that they crashed. A little bit lucky, but it's okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
There's only one thing better than watching RC racing TV, and that's running your own RC car. And now you can, thanks to HPI, because we're giving away one of these fantastic Firestorm 10Ts. And the way to win this great car is just to carry on watching the show and answer one simple question. The question is, who wins our VRC challenge? Is it A, Ben Cosgrove, B, Andy Moore, C, Mark Reinhardt, or D, me? No, it wasn't me. A, B or C. And when you know, by watching the rest of the show, just send your answer to win@hpi.tv, including your name and address. It's open to anybody watching the show anywhere in Europe. Anyone can win this fantastic Firestorm 10T. Just send your entry to win@hpi.tv. And now back to our virtual championship. Our next competitor is my IC mentor, for those who remember the last series, Adam Skelding. Well, he should know the engines, but does he know the cars on the flat? Let's find out. Well, we join Adam now as he runs up to his best lap. Now, Adam, of course, is you probably don't know this, he's actually the man behind Edit RC. He's a top RC designer. He designed the legendary Sprint 2, believe it or not. But can he drive as well as he can draw? Well, as well as he can CAD-CAM these days. That's a very good bottom corner. Worryingly, he's already looking quicker than me, but that's no real gauge. Nice flow again. It's very interesting. Most people are having trouble not overshooting the corners. I think that's something that the program, obviously, you need more laps you need just to get the balance between brake and acceleration. But he's really nice rhythm, but I think he missed most of the apexes in a 19.8, so 2/10 slower. How'd it go, Adam?
Terrible. Obviously not as good as I thought. Track conditions were a bit dodgy. Held up by back markers. Borrowing unusual radio. All the excuses in the world.
Next up is our own world champion Andy Moore. Now we'd like to point out that we did actually explain the rules to him beforehand, but we're not actually quite sure whether he was listening or we was too busy polishing all his very large trophies in the corner. So here comes Andy starting one of his laps. Now, of course, Ben did say he wondered whether he'd be able to handle the awesome virtual power of an IC car, and well, he's been doing reasonably well so far. Oh, good, he overshot a corner. That was nice to see someone like Andy doing that, like us amateurs do as well. But oh no, he's tightening up quite nicely. Beautiful cut in there. Oh, geez, he's in roll. This looks like a good quick lap, and we've seen the time. It's a 19.7, just a tenth outside. Well, let's follow Andy another lap. Let's watch the maestro at work. Very good there again. Oh, look at this. He's cutting in the corners beautifully again. Well, this looks quicker. So I think we should see a new leader here. I think Andy will be comfortably in the hand at the end of this particular round. Let's see what he gets through this time. And it's a 19.8. How deceptive, but very, very consistent.
I was cruising around at about 50%, so I didn't make everybody look slow.
Right. So you've had a quick look at the stats. There's still 2 people left to play. Mark and Nick.
Yep.
Where do you think it's going to go? Top 3, who do you think is going to
I think my run was reasonable. I had a couple of little mistakes. I think Mark will probably be a bit quicker because he's pretty good at this. I've seen him do it before. So.
And Nick?
Who knows?
Who knows, indeed, Andy. Well, interestingly, we actually explained to him after this point that it was single fastest lap. This rather upset our world champion, who thought it was the best average of the laps. Well, now over to everyone's favourite Mark Reinhardt. Let's see what the German can do going for a fastest lap, Andy. Well, straight away, Mark showing his class in this form of race. Looking at it, you can actually see very quickly he picked up. This is actually only his third lap, and he was already getting really into the swing of things. And quite frankly, he was looking quicker than everyone. Hopefully, I think we will say if he falls off, he might not get a time, but let's see how his first time lap comes around in a 19.3. Well, he's already beaten Ben by 0.3 of a second. Remarkable again, and he looks quicker. Well, this is really, I think he's just showing off now. Look at that, took the curb brilliantly, again, cut round again. Nice and clippy there. Well, frankly, I'm impressed beyond belief by the young German. Well, I say young compared to me, and a 19.1. Well, that's just amazing. Half a second faster than Ben, putting us all to shame. Mark, you are the virtual RC champion. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good now.
I mean,
Yes.
how does this compare to winning the World Championship a couple of years ago?
I think it's almost the same feeling now.
It must be particularly pleasing that Andy was quite annoyed that he didn't understand the rules.
Yeah, but I think that's his fault if he cannot read the rules. So, I mean, he was consistent, I heard, but like 5/10 per lap slower. So
Consistently slow is what you're saying.
no, not because it's slow, but I mean, overall time would be maybe better than mine, but it was just for one lap.
That's right. Mark, well done.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for our first VRC Championship. A win for the German Mark Reinhardt, second Ben Cosgrove, third Andy Clean Your Ears Out More, fourth Adam Skelding, and then other people who weren't quite as quick. And then a superb performance by Nick Damon to bring up the rear and make everyone else feel good about themselves. Well, I'm here with the 2IC presentation ladies, and your names are?
Gina.
Okay, nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. Vanessa.
And are you both Las Vegas natives?
I'm actually from Honolulu, Hawaii, but we both live here. She's from Brazil.
Rio de Janeiro, yeah.
Where the nuts come from?
What?
It's an old joke, I'm sorry. It's like an old person. So, I mean, obviously, out of the presentation, it is one of your top of your list. You enjoy meeting these exciting people in there with their small toy cars?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's interesting to see everyone so interested in toy cars.
And it's a couple of hours' work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're racing on carpet. I mean, do you like a good shag?
I'm sorry?
Is it wireless? But it's not connected.
Of course it's not, you muppets. That's why you got your receiver plugged into the computer.
Yes, exactly.